President Biden laying out his plan for paid family leave in last night's address to Congress. Ilan Moy has a look at why some companies are embracing the move. Ilan.
Well, that's right, Wilf. The American Families Plan would create a national paid leave program that covers up to 12 weeks of family or medical leave and replace a minimum of 2/3 of the average worker's wages, up to $4,000 a month. Now, according to the Kaiser Family Foundation, only about 25% of private employers currently provide any type of paid leave, and that's more likely to be large companies rather than small businesses or startups that might struggle to pay for this benefit. At online brand ThirdLove, the first person to take maternity leave was actually the CEO and co-founder herself. Now, Heidi Zak has made paid leave a priority.
That's the biggest thing. It's like, if we don't give people some basic amount of leave, then they're not going to bring their best selves to work. They won't perform. They won't be as productive, and the business suffers.
Now, she's part of a coalition that also includes Salesforce, Spotify, Pinterest, and Diageo, all now calling on Congress to pass the president's plan with an estimated price tag of $225 billion. Guys, the companies say that could help them offset the cost of existing policies or allow them to give even more paid time off. Back over to you.
Ilan Moy. Ilan, thank you. Alexis Ohanian joins us now for an exclusive interview, founder of 776 and co-founder of Reddit. He's been a huge advocate for paid family and paternity leave. Alexis, it's good to have you here. You've written about this in op-eds. You've championed this. I'm sure you were thrilled to hear President Biden talk about it last night. How did you get so involved in this issue? Why is it so dear to you?
You know, I've now spent about 3.5 years fighting for paid family leave because 3.5 years ago, I was lucky enough to have a daughter, and I was lucky enough to run a company where I had access to paid family leave. I was taking it, much like the CEO you just described, as a role model for folks in tech as well as in my firm. And we went through a pretty difficult childbirth. My wife, well documented, nearly died from it. Our daughter was in quite a bit of distress. And thankfully, at no point during those days after multiple surgeries, the weeks after while my wife was recovering, at no point did I have to worry about my job and my family. Because if I'd had to make that choice, I would have obviously chosen my family 100 times out of 100. And yet, we had as much good fortune as any family could hope for. And the idea that it was that traumatic, despite all the fortune we had, all the support we had, led me to believe that I needed to make sure every single American had that opportunity that I got to have, to not have to decide between supporting their family and their careers. And so it became my sort of my thing. And I'm grateful I had great leaders like Caitlin Holloway, who first put that plan in front of me and said, this is important for our workers. And now I realize is really important for every American.
Is 12 weeks enough? I mean, there are countries around the world that offer more. I mean, in the UK, what is it, Wilfred, 40, 50 weeks?
6 months, yeah.
It's a long time.
Yeah. Look, we're just getting on the board, right? America is the last developed country to have it. We have absolutely no policy right now. And so just getting on the board is important, making it accessible to men and women, also in the case of adoption, et cetera. These are all foundational things that we need to do. And it gives leverage for companies. 776 offers 16 weeks. It gives leverage for companies to do more if they can, but more importantly, gives access to companies that normally wouldn't have been able to make it as much of a priority, and hopefully open the door to lots more.
I know overall, Alexis, clearly you're a big fan of this move and you just want to see it rolled out across the country. That said, will it, do you think, in a slightly negative way, impact the hiring abilities of your existing companies that were already offering this? Was this something that was really embraced by workers as one of the factors they'd consider when considering whether to join your companies?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think we've seen in the tech industry, this is one area where I think the industry has done really well, is that by having generous paid leave plans, the war for talent is real and top talent has come to expect it. And I think we're going to see that spill over in a way that, if we do get this policy, I don't think it's going to make it harder for any of us. I think we'll still come up with great ways to incentivize employees to come work for us. I'm really just thinking about the broader health of the country, right? We all believe family is the bedrock of society. I hope we all do. And knowing that right now in America, 1 in 4 women is back to work 10 days after giving birth. I mean, just think about that and what that means the next time you're out. It is ridiculous that this has taken so long. And we need to create that baseline of decency for every American to have this opportunity, especially when it's such a crucial time in a family's life to have a newborn. So I hope this is just a start. I really do.
And clearly, Alexis, you believe in the principle kind of regardless of what this might cost. But do you also think anybody that may be pushing back on this today because of the potential cost is missing a point there as well?
You know, when I was in D.C. Working with, it was a Paid Leave US, a great organization that's been spearheading a lot of this, we met with Congress, with members of the House and the Senate on both sides of the aisle. And the thing that actually really impressed me, and this was when the 12 weeks of federal leave was passed, it was just a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, was really the biggest question was just how was it going to get paid for? Everyone was already bought into the idea. And I think as we have more and more data that shows this is healthier for our families. So it's going to mean reduced healthcare costs overall, which obviously help us start paying for itself. But it's also going to create increased economic efficiency. When we talk about all the women who have left the workforce, especially after this last pandemic, which disproportionately hit women harder than men at the home, we're talking about, I think it was $64.5 billion per year in lost wages and economic activity when women have to opt out of the workforce, and creating an environment where you can support a family on day one and actually give someone, men and women, this opportunity is going to mean more economic productivity.
I wonder, Alexis, if at all the companies that do offer this, if men take it, and whether we should be going farther. Should there be mandatory paternity leave so there's not a stigma for men who do need to take it, or for women that need to take it, and that there should be some sort of balance so that both of them will have equal opportunity in their careers and with their wages? What do you think?
You know, I don't think we're going to need a mandatory one, simply because there has been a massive culture shift. And I wrote about this in an op-ed a year or two ago. My dad, back in 1983, took one day when I was born, a vacation time, and that was sort of the norm. Fathers I talk to now, I have a Business Dad podcast. I talk to a lot of very alpha male business, career-oriented dads who, like myself, want to be the best at work, but also really want to be good for our kids and for our families. We want to be the best at that too. And I think there is a very noticeable generational shift. And yes, for men who are lucky enough to have access to it today, the numbers still aren't as high as they should be. But more and more male leaders taking this time, talking about taking this time and role modeling this behavior should give air cover to a generation of men, I think very quickly in the next 5 to 10 years, that will consider it a no-brainer to do this. Because again, if we believe in the importance of family, taking this time is really the least we could do at such a pivotal moment for our family's health and well-being.
Alexis, final question, just pivot a little bit, if I may. Got to ask you, while we have you, the various measures suggesting kind of the retail engagement in the market has not tailed off a lot, but plateaued perhaps, and maybe that's because things are reopening and there's other interest for people to go. Do you think we have seen maybe in the short term over the next few years the peak of stock engagement, whether just on the market generally or via Reddit and Wall Street Bets and all of the forums that you know better than most of us?
I got a lot of questions about Wall Street Bets, no doubt. I think, yes, as people transition back to more activity and opportunity offline, as we safely open up from this pandemic, yeah, we're going to see that level out a bit. But we are not going back. The genie is out of the bottle when it comes to this intersection of community and capital, and this idea of the mimetic strength of investments, of communities being able to get together in real time on social media and say, hey, we like this stock, or we like this Dogecoin, or we like this NFT, or we like this trading card. That's not going away. And I think markets are going to have to sort of better adjust. New technologies are going to adapt to this. And so I do think across the board activity is going to wane during the next few months. Is right. People enjoy getting to go out again, but it's not going back to the way it was before. And I think it's on all of us now as business leaders and investors to adapt for that new reality. And, you know, we've democratized access to speaking our minds, to consuming knowledge, and this is the sort of new era.
Alexis, great to see you as always. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.